Yancey. I am also a senior at Amherst County High School like Caitlin. And this past June, I was given the opportunity to visit Greece, Italy, and Spain with my school's EF tour group. As a lover of other cultures, architecture, history, and someone who wanted to get Greece off of her bucket list, I jumped at the opportunity. So while in Athens, I met an older man who helped to run a music shop in the city, and he knew very little English. Like, we had a conversation, but it barely qualified as one because we could barely understand each other. So I asked him what guitars were on sale in the shop because I was curious, and he had several displayed against the back wall. He pointed the majority of them and proceeded to ask what instruments I played. I told him I'm a singer, I do piano, and I was becoming interested in guitar, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So he suddenly just nodded and walked away. So I assumed that he didn't understand me and just decided to continue on with his day without, continuing. And a few minutes later, he came back with a small picture of a girl that I obviously didn't know, and he said, "This is my daughter. She sings too. You look like her." So I was touched at the comment, and I smiled at him and continued to shop. Finally, I went to pay for him for a small set of guitar picks as a gift that costed about 10 euros. He disappeared under the counter for a moment and pulled out a small paperweight that looked like a ukulele. I thought it was cute, so I nodded and went to hand him another 5 euros for the item, but he handed back the 10 that I had originally given him. Of course, I was appalled at paying anything more than, any less than what I had originally intended to, and we kind of silently argued over who would pay more for what. And so he gave, I gave in. I had to. I felt so bad. But he came around the corner and he hugged me and he just kissed both my cheeks. And I left the store feeling as though I made a new friend despite the fact that I never even learned his name. I now realize that what made the half hour I spent inside of the store so impacting was the fact that I was able to understand someone who didn't speak my language, and he lives an entire ocean away from me and more. Watching the world from my small Virginia home, I find myself thinking about the little man in the music shop and just how by simple communication, we were able to make a strong, though short, bond. It reminds me of how the world seems almost on its head now. No one is able to communicate with one another without feeling insecure, like I'm shaking right now. The conversation I had in Athens goes beyond the doorway to the shop. We live in a world where if we want to move forward as individuals and even as a country, we have to learn to speak to one another clearly and openly with the ability to accept what the other side says, even if we don't always understand.